thought I would jump on here and tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Wendy. I live in North Carolina. I was born on Fort Bragg, 1965. And I have 3 children. I have 4 grandchildren. That sounded a little weird. Am I that old? Oh my goodness. But anyway, I'm the manager at the ABC store. In North Carolina, the ABC store is where you buy liquor. And it's a really good job. I enjoy it. I love the people I work with. And I really enjoy being able to talk to people. You know, when I first started working here, it was like, oh, all these people, they're coming in, they're getting the same thing every day. And, you know, I sort of snubbed my nose up. Like, you know, they can't wait to come in here and get a half a gallon. But you know what I've realized over time? I've been here about 13 years, but I've learned over time that no individual wants to have to need something. It's genetic. Sometimes these things just happen. And everybody needs to be talked to and treated with respect. And we all forget that sometimes. You know, it's nice to be able to hold somebody's hand, pray with them. I'm not a big, person to do all that kind of stuff, I say my prayers in my head at night, but I had a coworker that worked here with me, and he's very religious. And, we spoke with the guy and talked to him, and we prayed with him. And that was the last time he was in the ABC store. I seen him a few months later at a store, and he said, Wendy, come here. And he said, the numbers you gave me to call for people to help? He said, I called them, and you were right, they helped me. And I haven't had anything to drink since. And this was, a few months. But I see him, he works in my local grocery store, and he's not drinking to this day. Those are the good things about working here. Everybody needs someone to talk to. And I try to pretend I'm hardcore, but I'm really not. I think I'm a very compassionate person. I might make you think that I have all this money in my purse, but if you need something, I'll make sure you get it. I have 2 daughters and a son, Morgan, Madison, and Marshall. All of them have had problems with, drugs. But what family doesn't have that this day and time, right? So, my youngest daughter, I didn't let her get her license till she was 18. She was my baby. And she got in a car accident. They thought she broke her back. They released her from the hospital with like 50 Percocets. Well, that turned into doing pills, then doing other things, doing a lot of hardcore drugs. Pretty girl. All my kids are good looking. I don't think I'm being just, that way because they're my kids, but, they're good looking. And my girls, especially, that men, they could always find that person that had the drugs. And so anyway, she got into heroin. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on this platform, but I thought I would tell you about myself. And my other daughter, she got into it. Not heroin, but meth. She was bipolar. She got into that stuff. But they're clean now, okay? They're clean. But let me tell you a little story. After a while, about 5 years of having to deal with drugs and I had to distance myself. That was the only way that I could take care of myself, only way that I could protect my heart, because I hurt and I was sad every single day. Every day. You know, I'd be calling probation officers. I'd be calling the police. I wanted them locked up. If they couldn't get right, I wanted them in jail. So, you know, I would try my best. My youngest daughter, she turned my oldest daughter on to some, well, she didn't, but this guy did that sold drugs. Turned her onto it, and she's bipolar, but in the meth, you know, that one drug, you know, really made her feel good. She had just had a baby, and she thought she could conquer the world. Well, after a while, you know, it didn't make her feel that way. I had to distance myself from them all. My oldest daughter is clean. She went to a rehabilitation place called Hill and Transitions in Durham, North Carolina. Then she went to Temple Baptist. It's Recovery Alive. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but Recovery Alive, they help out a lot of people. They have homes in different places, and they help the girls get back on their feet. And it's very religious, you know, and they want you to know God is there, and He is there to help. And she's straightened out. She's got her own place to live. I have her 2 children, you know. She could probably get them back, but my home is their home, and she sees them every day. She gets to do whatever she wants with them, which is a wonderful thing. They're 11 and 8. I think he's 11 or 12 or something like that. And my youngest daughter, she was out on the streets. I didn't talk to her. I didn't allow her around my home. I didn't allow any of them around my home. Once I had a couple children in my house, they just couldn't come around. That was tough love. If you want to do drugs, you want to act that way, you stay out on the doggone street. We are not tolerating that here in this household. Only way I could protect myself, right? And protect them. I thought I was doing them a favor. Well, my youngest got pregnant. Heroin addict. She said, I'm doing methadone. I'm going to do methadone. I'm going to stay off drugs for this baby. And she'd call me every now and then. She goes, the methadone is just making my head hurt. And I'm like, you know what, Madison, if you want an excuse to do drugs, just go down the road, give your baby up for adoption and do drugs. Don't call me with this nonsense. I don't want to hear it. I've heard it, been there, done that, and I'm over it. Well, she went to a local hospital, and they turned her away 3 times. She was 39 weeks pregnant. 39 weeks pregnant. She had COVID. 39 weeks. They turned her away 3 times. They didn't care about her. They should have cared about the baby. They thought she wanted to get drugs because they were familiar. She had OD'd and all this other stuff. They turned her away thinking she wanted drugs. Well, the 4th time she went back, she couldn't even say her name to check in. They did a CAT scan. Her whole body was consumed in blood clots. 39 weeks pregnant. Body completely consumed of blood clots. Brain, everything. They life-flighted her to Chapel Hill, where she went through brain surgery. They delivered her baby while she was they were doing brain surgery. And she was all those blood clots. So they couldn't release the pressure in her eyes after she had the baby, and she was, intubated because she was on so much blood thinner. She would have bled to death. So she became blind. Could you imagine being 29 years old, first child, I know she's strong, because any person that is on drugs out there on the street, hey, they're pretty doggone strong to be doing it without money, living on the streets, living from home to home. You got to be strong to be doing that crap. And I always knew that they could handle things. Well, she's blind now. With a baby. She wakes up in the hospital. She hears the nurses talking. She can't see. She calls me because I put an Alexa show in her room so she could call me. You know, say, Alexa, call, you know, so-and-so, Mom. She said, Mom, I heard them say they were blind. I was blind. I said, no, you're not, Madison. No, you're not. I went up there. She's blind. All because somebody did not help her out the first time she went to the hospital. But that's said and done. But you know what God takes away? For you to see other things. Because she lives in my house. She has this beautiful little kid. Canyon. Looks just like her. He's wild. He is wild. She's blind. She don't know how to correct him right. I'm not going to say it's my fault. And I don't spoil him. But just think about it. Just think. But anyway, so that's my life. But it's a good life. Because my kids are clean. My son's just had a little baby, him and his wife, and they get to experience the joys that any parent hopes for. We all hope to have a grandbaby, you know? Anyway, tag me. I'm trying to get some followers. That's me, Wendy. I'm a Gemini.